Israeli tanks and soldiers enter Gaza's Shifa hospital compound. 2.5 weeks after sending tanks and ground troops into northern Gaza, Israeli forces entered a hospital early Wednesday where they claim Hamas militants operate. Mohammed Zaout, the director of hospitals in Gaza, said Israeli tanks were inside the medical compound and that soldiers had entered buildings, including the emergency and surgery departments, which house intensive care units. Shifa Hospital has become a symbol of the widespread suffering of Palestinian civilians during the war between Israel and Hamas, which erupted after the militant group killed some 1,200 people and seized around 240 captives in a surprise October 7 attack into southern Israel. The Israeli army claims the militant group uses hospitals as cover for its fighters, and has set up its main command center in and beneath Shifa Hospital, the largest in the besieged territory. Both Hamas and Shifa Hospital staff deny the Israeli allegations. More than 11,200 Palestinians, two-thirds of them women and minors, have been killed since the war began, according to the health ministry in Hamas-run Gaza, which does not differentiate between civilian and militant deaths. About 2,700 people have been reported missing. Currently, the UN Security Council is trying for a fifth time to adopt a resolution on the Israel-Hamas war. ASEAN defense chiefs call for the fighting in Gaza to cease, but they struggle to address Myanmar. Thousands flee Gaza's main hospital, but hundreds, including babies, are still trapped by fighting. Israel supporters rally in Washington, crying, "Never again." Over 600 people left Gaza at Rafah border crossing, Hamas says. A total of 644 people traveled through the Rafah border crossing from Gaza into Egypt on Wednesday, said Wael Abu Omar, the Hamas spokesperson for the border crossing. Israel releases video of weapons it says were found in Shifa Hospital. Jerusalem. The Israeli military displayed what it says are Hamas weapons and military equipment it uncovered in Gaza's Shifa Hospital. But so far, its search showed no signs of tunnels or a sophisticated command center that it has said Hamas maintains on the grounds of the hospital. Hamas and Gaza health officials deny militants operate in Shifa. UN Security Council plans to vote on request for humanitarian pauses. United Nations. After 4 failed attempts, the UN Security Council has scheduled a vote on a 5th resolution on the Israel-Hamas war which would call for urgent and extended humanitarian pauses and corridors throughout the Gaza Strip. The final draft to be voted on Wednesday afternoon watered down that language from a demand to a call. It also watered down a demand for the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages held by Hamas and other groups, to a call. Washington. U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said Wednesday that the United States did not sign off on Israel's raid on Shifa Hospital. Kirby, responding to questions about the timing of the operation and his statement that the U.S. knows Hamas militants shelter in hospitals, said the United States doesn't expect advance notice from Israel before its military operations. "We did not give an okay to their military operations around the hospital," Kirby said, speaking to reporters from San Francisco, where President Joe Biden was preparing to meet with China's leader on Wednesday. "We don't expect the Israelis to inform us. 3/4 of Gaza's hospitals aren't working," World Health Organization says. Geneva. Only a quarter of Gaza's hospitals are still functioning, with about 26 out of 36 institutions now closed, either because they have been damaged or because they ran out of fuel, the World Health Organization said Wednesday. A hospital in northern Gaza treats dozens of patients each day, as Israeli bombs fall. Cairo. Around 40 patients a day are coming into Order Hospital in the Jabalia area of northern Gaza, said Dr. Ahmed Amhana, the hospital's manager. Amhana said that Israel strikes were still pounding the areas immediately around the hospital, with shrapnel striking the building. 8 staff members have been injured from the bombing, he added. Netanyahu visits Israeli troops near Gaza. Zikkum, Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told troops at the Zikkum military base near North Gaza, "There is no place in Gaza that Israel will not reach."